It's the scariest time of year again. Every October it seems the dark side of most of us come out. Sometimes it's all in good fun, sometimes it's just to get free candy, and sometimes it's just an excuse to have a party with friends. So happy Halloween from all of us here at All Request History. Now if you're curious about the history of, well, anything, subscribe and request right here. This week, a list of the most haunted places in the United States. Now, while there are several interpretations of the most haunted places, our list is based on research and the ones that show up most consistently. Let's get started. Number 10, the Winchester Mystery House located in San Jose, California. Now, it centers around Sarah Winchester, whose husband was the heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. You know, they made guns. In 1881, Sarah lost her newborn baby less than 1 month after birth, and then her husband William soon after. Sarah was deeply grief-stricken and was told in a seance to move west and continuously build a house to appease the spirits of those who were killed by Winchester rifles. Sarah took this advice very seriously and purchased this farmhouse in 1884, and she began a never-ending construction project that lasted 38 years until her death in 1922. Now, the house grew into a sprawling, bizarre mansion with 160 rooms, including doors and stairways leading to nowhere, windows opening up to walls, and a giant maze-like layout. After her death, the home became a popular attraction, famous for its paranormal reputation and architectural oddities, and maybe the ghosts of anyone shot by a Winchester rifle? Coming in at number 9, the Honolulu International Airport. Now, it's rumored to be haunted by several ghosts. One of the most famous legends is that of the Lady in Waiting, a mysterious woman dressed in a white wedding gown. She's said to have been seen wandering the terminal, searching for her lost love that left her at the altar. Other common reports are from the airport's old baggage claim area, where workers have reported hearing strange noises, footsteps, or voices late at night. Some also claim that the elevators in the airport operate on their own, opening and closing without any passengers at all. Now here's a question. What is considered the scariest place on Earth? The answer is coming up. Back to the U.S., we go to Chicago. In at number 8, the Lincoln Park Zoo. Established in 1868, it's one of the oldest zoos in the United States. The land that the zoo and all its facilities sit on was originally the Chicago City Cemetery, where over 35,000 bodies were buried. In 1860, the city moved the cemetery due to concerns about contamination and flooding, but thousands of bodies were lazily left behind. Over the years, construction workers and zoo staff have found human remains while digging for zoo projects. Visitors and staff have reported strange occurrences, such as unexplained cold spots, ghostly apparitions, and eerie sounds. One grave still remains in the most haunted spot of the zoo. It's called the Couch Mausoleum. It's a must-see on any Chicago Hauntings ghost tour. Coming in at number 7, the Whaley House, located in San Diego, California. It's often regarded as one of the most haunted houses in the United States. It was built in 1857 by local businessman Thomas Whaley on a land that had been previously the public gallows. The most notorious executions on the site was that of James Yankee Jim Robinson, who was hanged for grand larceny at this exact location in 1852. According to local legend, Thomas Whaley witnessed the execution and claimed that Robinson's ghost haunted both him and the property. Now thought to be cursed, 6 Whaley members died in the house, including Whaley's infant son and also his daughter Violet, who took her own life in the house after a failed marriage. Over the years, there's been footsteps, voices, smell of cigar smoke, perfume, and even reports of Dolly, the family dog, rubbing up next to and licking visitors. Over time, the Whaley House has become a popular tourist attraction and is now even a museum. Its reputation for being haunted, bolstered by ghost tours and paranormal investigations, continues to draw many visitors. Number 6 is called the LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans. Its dark history goes back to the 1800s. It was the residence of Madame Delphine LaLaurie, one of the French Quarter's most wealthy and socially prominent women. Now, in 1834, a fire broke out at the mansion, and during the fire, rescuers discovered a horrific scene in the attic. Apparently, Madame LaLaurie had been brutally torturing and mistreating enslaved people in her attic. Reports described victims found chained, mutilated, and in deplorable conditions. Public outrage forced Madame LaLaurie to flee the city, never to be seen again. Now, the mansion has since reported rumors of paranormal activity, strange noises, and ghost sightings. The building has had various owners and functions over time, including a school and an apartment building. Today, oddly, it's a private residence and not even open to the public. Number 5 is the White House. Yeah, that White House. Did you know it's said to be one of the most haunted places in the United States? Since its construction in the 1800s, many have reported ghostly encounters within its walls. Some notable ghostly legends have been the ghost of Abe Lincoln. He's been seen by First Lady Grace Coolidge, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands while staying at the White House, and even Winston Churchill. All reportedly experienced Lincoln's spectral presence. The wife of President John Adams, Abigail, is said to haunt the East Room hanging her laundry. James Madison's First Lady, Dolly, she's said to haunt the Rose Garden. Legend has it that in 1920s, when the workers were about to dig up the garden that Dolly had planted, her ghost appeared and scared them away. And in fact, visitors of the White House sometimes ask why they smell roses during the tour. The spirit of Andrew Jackson was reportedly heard laughing in the Rose Room, which was his bedroom during his presidency. Abe Lincoln's son Willie's ghost has been seen several times as well. Now, you can take a tour of the White House for free, of course, but the Haunted White House tour, well, that's for groups of up to 12, and it costs about $300. Coming in at number 4, the Eastern State Penitentiary, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, one of the most famous and haunted prisons in the United States. It opened in 1829, and it was designed to reform prisoners through strict solitary confinement to encourage repentance. However, this method often led to just inmate mental breakdowns, and a lot of them. Eastern State closed in 1971 after 142 years of operation. Following its closure, the prison fell into disrepair, but in the 1990s, it was open to the public and quickly became known for its paranormal activity. Visitors and staff have reported eerie experiences, including shadowy figures, disembodied voices, and strange sounds. Today, Eastern State Penitentiary is a historic site and is still a popular attraction for ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and reality Halloween fans. Number 3, the Lizzy Borden House, located in Fall River, Massachusetts, became infamous for the brutal murders of Andrew and Abby Borden on August 4th, 1892. Now, you must have heard the famous poem, right? Lizzy Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. After police found the victims just described in that poem, 32-year-old Lizzy was arrested and charged with the murders of her parents. During the trial in 1893, Lizzy was acquitted due to insufficient evidence, particularly the lack of direct proof linking her to the crime. The case became a national sensation, and even after acquittal, many still believe that she was guilty. Lance Zoll of the U.S. Ghost Adventurers bought the house in 2021 and runs a museum and a bed and breakfast here. Want to stay over? It'll cost you about $300 a night. Visitors who have the courage to stay there have reported strange occurrences and paranormal activity, as the house is considered one of the most haunted locations in the United States. Number 2, the Amityville House. Yeah, this house is located on the South Shore of Long Island in Amityville, New York, and has been the subject of multiple books, TV shows, documentaries, and more than 15 movies. Mostly known for the 1979 film The Amityville Horror, this movie was based on a novel by Jay Anson. Now, the movie is only based on true events, so is the house really as haunted as the movie suggests? Well, the real house is located at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York, not where the movie was filmed, by the way. It was constructed by a local builder in 1927 and has gone through many different owners. What is not fiction is that it was built on top of a burial ground used for many years by the Native American tribe, the Shinnecock. What is also not fiction is that Ron and Louise DeFeo lived there with their 5 kids, 23-year-old Ronald Jr., 18-year-old Dawn, 13-year-old Allison, 11-year-old Mark, and 9-year-old John Matthew. In 1974, 23-year-old Ron DeFeo, also not fiction, he killed every member of his family with a shotgun in that house. That's 100% true. He was tried and convicted of all 6 murders and was sentenced to 6 life sentences. He remained in prison for the rest of his life and died on March 12, 2021. After those murders in 1975, George and Kathy Lutz knew about the DeFeo murders, but they purchased the house anyway because it was priced so unbelievably low, thinking they'd be safe by asking a local priest to bless the house before they moved in. Well, that didn't help. According to the book, the priest, Father Ralph, heard a voice telling them to get out. And it was suggested to the Lutzes not to stay in the house and certainly don't go near the second-story bedroom. From that moment on, the Lutz family reported continuous incidents of hauntings, noises, voices, apparitions, bleeding walls, and ghosts. That's what the movie is based on. On January 14th, 1976, only after 28 days, in reality, the Lutz family left the house and never returned. Now, the answer to our earlier question, what is considered the scariest place on Earth? Well, several different interpretations here, but our research discovered the most consistent answer is the Paris Catacombs. This historic site is 20 meters underground and filled with thousands of human remains because in the 18th century, the Parisian cemeteries were too full. This site is open to the public, but the sign on the entrance says it all. Arrêtez ici l'Empire de la Mort. The English translation, stop. This is the Empire of Death. So coming in at number 1 of the most haunted places in the United States, the Chelsea Hotel, located in Manhattan, New York City. It was built in 1883 and has a famous haunted reputation. In the 20th century, it became a popular destination for artists, writers, and musicians. The hotel's haunted reputation stems from the numerous tragedies and mysterious events that occurred there over the years. One of the most famous incidents is the death of Nancy Spungen. That's the girlfriend of Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols. She was found stabbed to death in room 100 in 1978. Sid Vicious was arrested and charged with her murder, but he died of a drug overdose before he could be tried, so both Sid and Nancy are said to have been in room 100 ever since. Another spirit said to haunt the hotel regularly is Mary. Many survivors of the Titanic stayed here after the 1912 tragedy, but Mary was so distraught over the loss of her husband that she hung herself while staying here on the 5th floor. Other famous guests frequented the Chelsea too, like Arthur Miller, Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen. Andy Warhol lived here and even shot a movie there in 1966 called Chelsea Girls. Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, members of the band Pink Floyd, Bette Midler, and Madonna have all resided here at the Chelsea as well. Now, the hotel was closed for renovations in 2011, hoping to change the reputation, and it reopened in 2022. Many still believe the ghosts remain, and it's a hotspot for paranormal society and has been featured in several TV shows and documentaries. So wherever you get your candy this year, maybe this is a list of places you might want to avoid, or maybe not. Happy Halloween from All Request History.